You're tuned to Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show, live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here at 5th and State. Also live on YouTube and on Facebook, having the crucial conversations that Erie needs. And when we talk about agriculture, we talk to the Troyers. I want to welcome back Mark Troyer and welcome Colton Troyer here. Colton, you've been on this show.
First
time?
Yeah.
I know I've interviewed you.
We've talked at a few events.
Yes.
But.
Well, let's get your origin story. Welcome, gentlemen. Appreciate it. But let's get your origin story. Again, you grew up in this neck of the woods.
Yeah. No, born and raised in Waterford, Pennsylvania. Grew up on the farm, kind of in the legacy of the Troyer Farms chips and everything, but I was always on the farm side. So, picking rocks when I was 8 years old. I guess we figured out a couple months ago that I've now officially retired from the farm. I'm now on Folkland payroll, but I retired after 18 and a half years on the farm.
Wow.
So I think I started 8 or 9 years old when I was.
What was your favorite chip back in the day?
I was a salt and vinegar guy.
Seriously, yeah. I tell you what, I miss Troyer Farms. Troyer Farms barbecue chips with chip chop ham sandwich. That was my go-to lunch, right? And a Pepsi. And the one that's kind of close, not all the way there, is Gibble's barbecue. I don't know if they picked up the recipe or what, but
I don't think that got sold with the brand. I think
Yeah.
so. That's hidden in a vault somewhere.
I'm sure. But your barbecue was always like crazy good, right? But again, you and your brother have brought a lot of different ideas to the idea of farming. But we've got to make sure we understand this. And Mark, you need to make this clear to the audience that the potato business is still kind of the bread and butter. That's the foundational business of what you do, isn't it?
Certainly, when you're a farmer, that's the heritage. I mean, owning farmland, taking care of it, and making it productive is always something we've strived to do. And so we've changed that a little bit, but it's still at the heart of everything is growing agricultural products. I've said this on the show many times that the Erie County, we're blessed with some wonderful farmland and actually a wonderful climate, and we can grow a lot of different high value crops. It's just a matter of having the production facilities to actually produce those products that can go direct to consumer. So we really struggle trying to compete on the basis of corn or soybeans or things like that. But if we get, we were blessed being close to a huge market, the whole East Coast. And it really turns into having processing facilities that can handle those raw products and put them in a form that the consumer can get.
It's all about the vertical integration. I mean, is that really where this business has gone, the agribusiness? Is that folks like you need to vertically integrate?
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of at a size and like a fork in the road, like most farms come to, is you have to decide, do you want to find a niche product and a niche direction to go, such as organic and producing your own product, or do you want to go the direction of scale? And that's really the only way you can survive anymore as a farm, is scale to such a size where you can deal with the big processors and deal with the big players, or create your own market. And we didn't necessarily want to go the route of growing 3,000 acres of potatoes in order to compete. That's the direction you'd have to keep going. And so, my brother especially, he's an agronomist and he's still managing, the farm on a day-to-day basis. That's the part he loves, is being out in the field and actually getting to walk the fields every day. And once you get to a certain size, there's just layers of management and bureaucracy, and that wasn't really what we wanted, for our lives and for the future. So,
can I ask a totally random farm question? Can you use the same soil to grow potatoes year after year after year, or at some point do you have to grow something else? What is that kind of, what do they call it? Recycling?
Rotation.
Rotation.
Yep.
What is that all about?
Well, he can jump in, but I mean, that's actually what we're struggling with. It's fairly expensive for us to make this conversion to organic and to rotate this land out. So right now we're pretty confident that, growing a potato crop, has a potential to earn a profit. But, when we're trying to go 3 years or 4 years in between, we're struggling a little bit with I use the term what we can lose the least amount of money on those other 3 years, So
you literally have to take it offline for 3 years or grow something different?
You can continue to grow on that ground, but you have to grow it organically and sell it conventionally. So basically, you're taking a huge yield hit and then still selling at that same conventional price
till it's organic.
see.
But then
Till
even once it's organic, we're trying to find some other crops that we can sell organically.
Like what would be an accompanying crop with potatoes?
To get there has been hay. I mean, we're doing a lot of hay and alfalfa because we just said that's what we would lose the least amount of money on.
Yeah, and there's benefits for rotational purposes of regenerating the ground, fixating some of that nitrogen.
I heard something about cabbage that, like some corn growers put cabbage in or wheat. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
There's field turnips and there's field peas and there's radishes and things like that.
And you could keep them organic while you're doing the rotation?
Sure. Cabbage is, there isn't anybody growing a lot of cabbage here in the county anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, we certainly can't talk about our farm without talking about beets. Beets is something that we've...
you're all in on the beets.
Well, we're dipped a toe in, and I guess we're up to our necks now this year. Yeah. So I don't know how many acres he's going to be at.
Got 120 acres of organic beets this year, in addition to all the potatoes.
So when you hear about super beets on the radio, they could be sourced in Waterford?
Well, ours right now are going for processing, which get packaged for pickled beets and all kinds of...
Say the brand?
Love Beets.
Love
They're
Beets.
based up in Rochester, New York.
Rochester, New York, and we found out that they were importing a fair amount of them from Europe, and that was very expensive, so they were kind of glad to link up with us, and they keep asking for more, so we're going to try to raise more of them.
Yeah.
And so is that necessarily a rotation crop, or is that just kind of another line that you're getting into?
Both.
Okay.
So that's the beauty of it is it keeps us in organics, and it's also a crop that we think we can cash flow and make some money at, and it happens to be a good rotation crop for potatoes.
And so what that beet is doing when it decomposes is re-energizing that dirt there?
So we harvest the beets. It's actually, you can harvest them similar to potatoes. So you're pulling out that whole bulb, but you leave a lot of the tops, the greens. There's still a lot of organic matter that gets left in there. Sometimes you have to do a longer rotation based. If you're doing beets and potatoes, you can do a slightly longer rotation, but it still just helps diversify the farm as a whole, and just helps build out a full program a little better. Again,
you've studied around the country and around the world. Both of you have, and you made the remark, Mark, that we're really blessed that we could have kind of this diversity. It's not like going to Indiana or Illinois where all you see are soybeans or wheat, right?
Right. Yep.
I mean, all of these fruits, the grapes, all these things are particular to us.
And to be close to the market. I mean, the East Coast is, a tremendous market for us, and the idea of shipping stuff from California to service Pennsylvania markets is just crazy, and there's some things that we can do here more efficiently, and then we're certainly our timing's been fortunate too with the trend to know your farmer and know where your food's coming from and buy local and things like that. So we just think it's a huge opportunity then to produce jobs and produce actually. in a way, we're exporting out of Erie County and feeding the whole country. And I mean, and Colt can certainly get into his markets where he's been our sales guy. He's been selling the with our Folkland fries and tater tots coming up. He's been able to access a big chunk of the country now. How many states?
I haven't counted in a while. 34, 5, something like that, probably.
Some of the big names in retail. Are we talking?
I mean, retail moves real slow. We've got a lot of notable big ones coming down the pipeline, but the ones we're in right now, we're in Sprouts, Farmers Market, which is national.
Yeah.
We are expanding in Wegmans. So
originally
we were just in the local stores here. They're notoriously hard to get into, really, which
they're very particular.
Very particular. So I've been working on that one for literal years now, and finally getting expanded. So that one's really exciting. Talking
Giant Eagle and Giant have been good to us.
Yeah,
I mean, they were
early
adopters.
Yeah.
I mean, this has got to be a flashback for you, Mark. What your dad and uncle did to try to get Troyer's product placement.
It is. There's so many similarities, and yet there's a few things that I really enjoy about. The potato chip business, we had 60 days to sell those things, or they'd stale out, and we'd have to bring them back. And we would reimburse the grocery store. Now that we got a frozen product, it's
a bit more forgiving.
Yeah, it's a bit more.
Frozen's a bit more forgiving.
Yeah, we got 18 months or so shelf life on it, so that's wonderful in my book. So I kind of love that part.
Yeah, it helps. They're flying off the shelf a lot faster than that, but it helps to know you got it. So.
That's amazing. We're talking to Mark and Colton Troyer. We're going to take our first break here. Stay with us. It's Talk Erie. The ag business, huge business in Erie County. And we're talking to Colton Troyer, Mark Troyer from Folkland Foods. I want to talk about this new project that y'all are working on in the West County. So for many years, there was a bit of a conflict of that Pleasant Ridge location. How many acres is out there, Colton? Is it 120 or?
Oh, I think it's bigger than that.
Is
I think
it?
it's north of 150 or so.
150
acres. And for you guys, that's a sizable amount of acreage, or?
Oh, yeah, that's
okay.
I mean, to have that much acreage in one location is pretty big.
It's a pretty big deal.
Erie, they don't usually come.
And
that
fortunately, we were already nearby. We have a farm just a mile away, so we were kind of up that direction anyway.
So you already had some infrastructure there.
Mm-hmm.
So it had been slated maybe to become an economic development industrial park. That did not go well with the neighbors. It sat fallow for a while. Explain to the uninitiated what happens to a piece of land when it's not tended to.
It gets harder to work for sure. It grows up. You get brush and you get saplings, and all of that stuff takes longer to break down in the soil once it's there. So I mean, it's good organic matter that'll break down eventually, but it requires some extra tillage, and we have to go through brush hog it all first, and so it takes some extra work to get it back into shape.
So you guys raised your hand and said, "Hey, we'd be interested in farming this land."
Yeah, I mean, we weren't the only ones.
It was a bidding process.
Yeah.
Was
we
it?
submitted a bid, and
We're
successful with it.
Almost immediately when the new county executive took over, right? Pretty much.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah. She said, "Let's just do some RFPs."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were trying to. Yeah, and I understand they were trying to get some kind of an income off of it. Sitting fallow wasn't earning any income, but yeah, just to add to that, I mean, the seed bank is probably pretty deep too.
Yeah.
I mean, even though you mow it down and you think it looks all clear, there's been seeds that have regenerated.
Weed seeds
that are going to be popping up too. So I'm sure it's going to. It may not look the prettiest here. We'll do our best. We'll see what it looks like here this year. So.
Well, it's so funny. It's right on the highway, and so
everybody
people will be watching.
Yeah. Everybody will be watching.
It's so wild. Yeah.
Oh, that's one of the jokes about farming is, your work's on display for the whole year for everyone to see. So,
hey, what are they doing over there?
Yeah, no, if you mess up one planting row, you're going to hear about it for months.
That's hilarious. So what's the game plan here? Are you're kind of trying to get it ready for planting for like next year or something?
I mean, we're going to plant it this year with potatoes.
You are? Okay.
Yep. So it'll be conventional potatoes this year. We've already been up there, brush hogged it to start, just to get the weeds chopped down and get it mulched up a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's the first step. But yeah, no, we'll have potatoes planted up there by June.
Amazing. And how if there's upwards of 150 acres, will you try to plant all of it?
Yeah, I mean, we get pretty picky now with acres. We'll pick the best stuff, and then we've got good partners that we farm with that can plant the other row crops and stuff in the areas that are not quite as suitable. It's not worth planting in more marginal acreage for potatoes. So you just take the best stuff and fill it in with corn, soybeans.
We have a pretty significant investment in an acre of potatoes now, and
You're saying when you do a typical acre, it's a pretty big deal for you guys.
There's a lot of inputs that go into it, and if come harvest time comes around and that section is flooded out or underwater or something, and you lose that, it was just a waste of time and money. So yeah, we certainly sometimes have to skip over a little bit of an area rather than going through and planting it and taking a chance on maybe we'll get a little something out of it. We might stay out of a section.
Are you having to do things like drainage ideas? And I mean, especially, it's not a piece of land that you're accustomed to.
So that's, not accustomed to. We don't own it either. So we have a little trouble. My dad and I love investing into long-term land and improvements and things like that. But some of those are looking at 20-year paybacks, and so to do that on a piece of rented land that you don't know the future of is kind of hard to do. So
But we are doing some amount up there of tiling. You know,
Are you really?
There's existing tiling there, and you know, part of the agreement is that we have to fix certain parts of it to get it back to fully operable. So
Interesting. So potatoes, you're planting in June. When would you be able to harvest that?
yeah, I mean, the goal is to be done by mid-May, you know, June at the latest, but we can start harvesting. Typically, the earliest will be mid-August. We'll start to dig a little bit. Fresh crop, you know, so those go straight to processing. Storage potatoes take a couple extra weeks to fully mature, and yeah.
And like when they say baby potatoes, that's not just taking them early, is it? Or is it an actual brand?
It in part is harvesting early.
Okay.
There are varieties that, you know, will set a lot more tubers that are small. You know, you just have a way higher number of small ones, but you do have to kill them and harvest them a little early, so you lose some yield.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I know that, again, in the Folkland is totally organic, but is that a similar type of growth cycle? You know, plant in May, harvest in August?
It's all pretty close. It's a little shorter for organic. You know, you
Okay.
don't have quite as much of that bulking, we call it bulking time, you know, at the end of the growing cycle. You know, without the synthetic fertilizers and stuff and all the, you know, synthetic pesticides.
Yeah.
You don't get quite as much growth, you know, at that very end. So they'll senesce, they'll die a little bit earlier than.
So they actually by going organic, you're gonna get a smaller tuber. It sounds like, huh? Am I saying that right?
Well, we always use
Not
the
wrong.
joke, you know, twice the cost and half the yield. So it's a
You net out about the same. Yeah.
I love that you do this with such good humor. You know, it's like, yeah, we're in business. We want to make money, but this is that. Well, I mean, it's actually serious. You actually have a bigger mission than that dollar sign.
It's not that funny when you're looking at the year-end statements. When you look at the year-end statements and say, geez, we only had half, you know, all these storages, we have these big storages and we only need half as much space because that's, you know, the yields can be a little bit less. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and then with the Folkland, even with the organic, you're able to store them. So you're processing through the winter.
Yeah.
You're not just doing it.
That's harder too, you know.
No, it is. Yeah.
I mean, every part of organic is significantly harder. We're gluttons for punishment a little bit.
Well, that's
Yeah, there's conventional. We have the ability to use some sprout inhibitors and things like that. So with the organic, those aren't available. So
there's natural things you can use like clove oil, which will, you know, burn off a sprout that's starting, but you know, really your tools to keep them in storage long. Or
I guess think about having a bag of potatoes underneath the cabinet for too long and what they look like. That's what you guys are dealing with. We're going to take our break. We're talking to the Troyers here about their new land, really working with the county about getting that back in action. Stay with us. Tell you what, when we talk the economy, we always need to include agriculture as being one of our main drivers here in Erie County. And it's always great to talk to Mark Troyer, and Colton Troyer is joining us as we talk about Folkland Foods and this new work that they're doing in collaboration with Erie County government with this piece of land that the county owns there out in the right by Pleasant Ridge Park, right? I mean, you're going to go cross country running. You know, there's a cross country trail back there.
I didn't know that. No, I'll have to check that out.
Did you ever take
my lunch breaks? I guess.
I was going to say, what was your sport in school?
I played rugby a little bit. I played soccer a little bit, but no, I was grading potatoes was always the same time as all of the sports in the fall. So that was my workout.
That was your
picking
workout.
rocks.
Picking rocks. My goodness, Colton. The we're talking about that concept of vertical integration, and it was really cool to be at Troyer Farms. Now it's got to be a couple years ago when the governor came to talk about this investment and this concept of building a market for organic potatoes, and you got the grant and you build out a whole system, right? I mean, talk about that. I mean, it is from the ground to the bag, all in Waterford.
Yeah, I like to say it's been my whole life's work. I mean, we kind of build on what I've been doing all my life. So, I mean, certainly accumulating the land base and good, usable, economically viable land. I've kind of accumulated a fair amount of that. But then the equipment base and storages and the state-of-the-art storages to be able to store these potatoes long term. But then we also invested in a state-of-the-art washed line. So a pretty huge investment up to this stage, and then the Folkland brand and factory kind of adds on to that, and that's kind of where the boys have taken it to the next step. So the base was there, and so now we've moved on to the next step.
Yeah, no, I mean, farming in general is a very capital-intensive business.
No doubt.
Increasingly more so as everything inflates. Tractors are approaching $1 million now if you get a big enough one, which is crazy. But as far as the factory and everything that we built, I mean, we blitzed that project really, really quickly. I mean, we broke ground on it in August of 24.
Wow.
And we were making fries by April. And we kind of, put ourselves in these positions where we have no choice but to make it work and figure it out, because we had already got commitments from Giant Eagle. They said they were going to have us on shelf in June, and we're like, we have no choice but to make this work now.
And we had organic potatoes in storage that it was literally a couple more months and they'd be junk. They wouldn't be
weeks. I mean, we were down to the wire because we were end of that storage season.
Unbelievable. And let's talk about the end. Have you done any consumer research on like how people like the food?
We're nationally ranked. Tell them where we're at there.
In the natural channel, we are ranked number 5 in
the whole country
in the frozen potato category. Yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean, we haven't really done any like formal consumer, research, but you see, the store count and the velocity and like how many people are purchasing each week in these stores, and we continue to see it climb, as the weeks go on, the longer we're in a retailer, which is an indication that people are enjoying and buying again. And, typically as a manufacturer, as a brand of a food product, you're used to getting customer complaints, and you count those. We've gotten a pretty incredible amount of compliments, like people that go out of their way just to reach out and say how much they love the product. So that's a pretty good feeling, and an indicator that we're on the right track and we're doing something right.
Have you broke through like at Whole Foods and like some of those kind of
that's
food
the one
places?
We are breaking through. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one is a tough nut to crack, but
I mean, it's Jeff Bezos. I mean,
yeah. Just Jeff's all about the dollar. You know?
yeah.
But it's a matter of time.
Yeah.
You know, those are the stores that we perform really well in. You know, we want to position ourselves where we can be in both conventional and natural retailers. You know, obviously, organic is a bit more expensive of a product, but we're doing everything we can to get it at an affordable price point, because the people that are helping produce the product here in Erie and should be able to afford, you know, the product that they're making. It's not something we're making just for, you know, people in Los Angeles. We want everyone to be able to enjoy it.
I mean, I think about, I guess my point of reference is, let's say organic milk. If you buy a half gallon of milk, it might be $3-4, right? An organic one's going to be $5 or $6, and so it's a 50 percentile. I mean, that's got to be kind of similar to what you're dealing with, right?
Yeah, it's
and
typically
people are kind of used to that, aren't they?
Yeah, that's kind of what the consumers expects. Now, the organic potato market, frozen French fries was basically devoid of any organic options. You know, there's been one that's been available for, you know, 5 or 10 years that's owned by one of the, you know, giant food conglomerates. But they've actually discontinued that. So we're literally one of 2 brands now that have organic French fry option in the United States. Yeah.
And again, if you're because you do the tater tots too, right? What is that, an extrusion process? What do they call that?
They're formed basically, so it's similar to extrusion.
Yeah. And it's like making the old cheese curls.
Yep, it is similar.
Yeah.
Similar. Yep.
If you're a mom and you don't want junk going, you know, that you want your kids to eat organic, they don't have a lot of choice, right?
No.
They have to choose for you.
We should also play up the concept of no seed oils. I mean, so it's olive oil coming, olive oil, which can be
Also expensive.
expensive
in addition
and
to
can be
organic.
kind of anxiety building whether the ship's going to. So it's coming from Europe right now. There is not a lot of olive oil domestically here in the United States, so we can get a little nervous. So we've taken to kind of ordering way ahead so that we have a supply of it here.
Yeah.
When you're trying to build some kind of a core audience, again, got it in radio terms, but you're building your audience, right? How do you have to get the name out? Do you have to do samples? Is it like, you know, kind of a Sam's Club, get a taste of this and you might like it kind of thing? Is that your best marketing strategy?
So we had a pretty slim marketing budget to start. You know,
Sure.
we bet a lot of it on the manufacturing side of things. We know we're really good operators. Frankly, we didn't know that much about starting a brand this
It's almost
day
like
and age, or
merchandising,
marketing.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
Yeah. I mean, it's marketing a whole new thing.
Yeah.
We invested really heavily in having packaging that was attractive. We knew if we could show up on shelf next to, you know, pretty bland competitors, that we'd get some, you know, level of trial right away. So we banked heavily on that, and luckily that worked out for us super
Fantastic,
well.
yeah.
You know, now that we're stabilizing a little bit, we're doing some more marketing and want to get more of what you're saying, like sampling events. You know, we went to the PA Farm Show, which was an awesome event. We served 20,000 samples or something insane over the course of a week. So like those kind of events where you can hand out fries are really impactful, and where you get to really connect with people.
Yeah, you know, get the governor eating your fries, you know.
He's had a few.
So on that, I mean, our listening audience here, I mean, we do have some YouTube product that's out there and other social medias that we'd love for everybody to watch and subscribe to, and we're going to continue to kind of educate people on the process, and hopefully in a fun way.
It's trying to be authentic about how food is made. You know, oftentimes you see brands that kind of, the term is greenwashing, you know, what farming is like, and we want people to understand how difficult it is and what it's really like, and it's dirty and it's hard and it's long nights, and clean food is dirty work.
That's one of our
slogans.
Slogan.
So, you know, I think that also helps people grasp the the premium that organic is. There's a premium
Sure.
on the price point.
If
But
Mike
understand how
Rowe,
hard
if
it
you're
is-
listening, if Mike Rowe's listening, we'd love to have you come out and be our spokesman.
He's already selling phones or something, right? It's so cool to have this level of entrepreneurship happening in Erie County. And again, you've already made it clear we're blessed by the soil, by the climate. That part works, but you have to have the brains and really the risk taking to go and say, okay, we're going to take this root vegetable and turn it into a viable product that for national distribution.
No, and I'll give all the credit in the world to my dad for having the risk tolerance to go out and leverage everything to do this. I mean, it was a huge leap of faith, and as they say, betting the farm on it, we quite literally did.
Wow.
To do this. So, yeah, we are seeing the fruits of all of that labor now, thankfully, and all of the bets we took are paying off and coming to fruition.
The thing that they always say, though, is that all you need is some massive multinational to come and say, oh, I want to do this. Sounds like they've already said, this is not something we want to do.
It's
Yeah,
hard.
I mean, until they come and want to buy you out, and so that's
Right.
And then
That's
quite
a
often
solution,
they buy you out and then close you down. So
Right.
well, that's not our goal. Our goal is to continue to do this whole process and to provide jobs locally and to provide good, clean, wholesome food to our customers. And so that's what we enjoy doing the most.
Talk about the conventional side. You still have markets for your conventional potatoes, right, Mark? I mean,
Yeah, I still use the term that's what's paying the bills. I mean, we
accurate.
still continue to grow some conventional. That number has maybe decreased a little bit as the organic's taken over, but we have some, our goal, our forte, I guess, is chipping potatoes and living right on the property where the shears plant is there. So they've been wonderful partners and customers of ours, and very easy marketing with those people.
and will they generally take almost all of the potatoes that you grow?
They've
Yeah.
got a pretty significant portion of our annual volume. Yeah.
And they seem to be able to sell their products. I mean,
Yeah,
they're doing
I
a
mean-
ton of store brands, right? Isn't that what
Yes.
they do mostly?
a lot of
Private label, they do a lot
Private
of private
label,
label.
Yeah, Co-Man. Yeah, they're huge. I mean, basically, if you're eating Panera chips anywhere in the country, they're made right here in Waterford, which is
So
a pretty cool thing.
interesting. Yeah. Talk about if you were kind of either the family farm or the hobby farmer, but you want to have some kind of element where where it's a net positive financially. Again, it's expensive to raise a cow.
Yeah.
To raise Angus for beef. Can you imagine what you have into that before you sell that cow and slaughter that cow? I mean, pigs, chickens, whatever. What are your thoughts about all that?
Well, coincidentally, we are raising a few cows too. That's kind of one of the things we did when we started having all this rotation ground with the hay and alfalfa and things like that. So we do have some belted Galloways, and you can see some of those online too on the YouTube channel. So grass-fed beef, but
Okay.
one of the things that kind of interests us is Pennsylvania Farm Bureau board member here in Erie County, and so we constantly are trying to encourage new farmers to come into the business, but we recognize you gotta make a living at it. It's so and like I said before, corn and soybeans, very tough to kind of compete on that national.
Right.
That price is set kind of by the Iowa and Nebraska farmers out there on the plains, and they're very good at what they do, and they can do it very cheaply. But with us being close to the East Coast market and the consumers, direct-to-consumer businesses, and our Erie County climate, we actually think there is an opportunity for a farm to make a living off of 50 acres doing organic potatoes, and we certainly encourage people that would want to try to do that. We would, my son Zach, the agronomist, was more than willing to help them along and show them best practices, and so that you learn from our mistakes. We're writing down all our mistakes and putting them down on a piece of paper and vowing not to do it again, do it that way again, so we can help people and help them source their seed and equipment, and the best equipment that's working best for what we're doing, and then not have to invest in their own French fry plant, not invest in their own wash line. Those are very expensive things that we can help, be partners with them. So that's something.
And it's almost like that, the dairy model, and which is kind of, my understanding is dairy has kind of really gone in decline around here because of who's willing to buy from the small farmer the milk, right? I mean,
yeah, I think there's a certain tendency to the big milk processors, the big food processors, don't want to run around 500 different suppliers and get a little bit of milk. They make their contracts with the big guys that are doing 2,000, 5,000 head, and it just kind of continues to push smaller farmers out. And another,
it's just so funny because around here, again, the same type of people that would buy Folkland are buying pot of gold, out of the glass bottles like the old days, right? I mean, again, there's a certain market which is not very small. It's actually a pretty sizable market that is looking for these kinds of products where there's a very short line from farm to table, farm to the house.
I think everyone wants those products. They just need to be accessible, right? It's the problem of getting
and we need
them
to
in front
know
of them.
about them.
And so just a little other glitch that, us in the farm world, when we talk about cows, the USDA certification for butchering cows is just a huge hindrance for local farmers. There's all these farms that are, used to be a 50 cow dairy herd, and now they've got a barn, and they can raise some wonderful beef, but the process for getting it individual cuts is just very difficult. So we think there should be a little bit of change or a little bit of leeway, and sometimes our government kind of holds us in against some issues that just make things really hard.
Do you think? I mean, that's insane, when you think about it. All right, I'm running out of time here. What is this? What's this year look like for you? I mean, again, steady growth, expanding markets.
I don't know if meteoric growth, perhaps.
Meteoric.
We've got about 4,000 stores planned to be in by the end of this year. We're in about 1,300 right now.
So almost tripling.
Yeah, almost tripling, and then basically again the year after that. So we're trying to hit it hard and fast and get this product available to everyone all across the country. And in addition to that, making other French fries private label for retailers as well. So we are expanding operations really, really quickly, and
looking at a second shift.
More jobs, all the way from manufacturing up into more white collar sales positions and stuff as well. So looking to continue to pull and lean on the Erie labor market. There's a lot of talented, brilliant people here, and we want to keep that local. There's a big tendency to go remote and hybrid and all of that. We are firm believers in finding that talent here, and the benefits of working as a team in person. So,
are you using AI in any of these strategies there, Colton?
I am not personally. There are some people on our team that are
using AI
guys,
to job descriptions and
There you go.
Maybe that, yeah.
It's an agent, right?
Yeah. No, I like to keep my brain sharp and do the thinking myself. But
You're young enough. Colton Troyer, Mark Troyer. It's a fascinating story. I mean, we're talking ag today. Tomorrow we could be talking, an industrial shop on 12th Street. Mm-hmm. But we're creating things that we're selling outside the Erie market, bringing dollars into Erie. Mm-hmm. That is the essence of what we need to be doing.
We are the largest French fry maker in South Waterford right now. I know you left South Waterford.
Right.
You left Waterford Market, came up here north. It's 72 degrees out in Waterford right now.
It's always sunny and 72 in South Waterford. Thank you, gentlemen, so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You got it. It is 5 minutes in front of 5.